welcome to the 13th house. Come on in, take your shoes off, make yourselves at home, get weird with me for a little bit. If you're new here, welcome to the weirdness. It is going to be exactly that. And if you are returning, thank you so much, my lovely, beautiful disasters and divine anomalies, for finding something here worth returning to. As always, your perception is your responsibility, okay? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Use your discernment. You know the drill. You know what to do. And then, of course, anything I say, do, what have you on this channel, any of the content therein is for entertainment purposes only. If you know, you know. I've got to say it. Because people are weird. And not in the fun way. Alright, with that out of the way, let's just get into it, shall we? Right off the rip, we have loyalty. That's always nice, isn't it? Such a rare thing. This could be talking about you or someone else. Maybe you've proven yourself to be loyal of something, or you're finding someone is loyal that you may not have expected, okay? We have fortune and fame. That sounds nice if you're someone who doesn't mind being in the spotlight, okay? That kind of goes in with the other reading I did, that the one, there's a throne waiting for you kind of thing. Ooh, and then we have Rebellion, card number 33. Ooh, okay. So, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Light of Understanding, okay? Now, this, to me, seems like it's flowing in with, of course, the reading I did. A throne is waiting for you. Okay, you being loyal to yourself, regardless of whether or not it looks like rebellion, okay? It may be going against the grain of something that society, others have, adhered to for a long time. Alright, but in this loyalty to self, loyalty to your truth, okay, that is going to bring in this fortune and fame, or it could be talking about loyalty to some type of energy, entity, what have you, okay? For blah, 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 blah. Spit it out, okay. For fortune and fame, okay, and it could be this rebellious type of spirit, okay, and maybe experiencing the light of understanding, alright? That could be you or someone else. We're gonna dive in a little deeper, and we're gonna fuck around and find out. Together, of course. Fuckery with friends, yay! Oh yeah, and earlier today, I was picking up on this kind of like revitalized energy type thing, like your energy is being restored, okay? Like I was picking up on, like, for the past few weeks you may have been feeling sluggish, like hard to get motivated, struggling to really find interest in doing much, okay? But you've either experienced this starting today, or you will within the next few days. Getting your energy back, okay? Actually feeling like you want to participate in this whole life thing again. And the reason for that is because something has detached from your energy, okay? Something that was leaching. Alright, that's too many at once. But Capricorn came out, Aquarius came out, and the 11th house came out, and that one is like friends, acquaintances, companies, organizations, hopes, wishes, goals, intentions, public relations, promotional activities, and idealized projects, whatever. And, with fortune and fame being here, so it could, the fortune and fame thing could be pertinent to a Capricorn or Aquarius, okay, and it could have to do with some idealized project, either of them or you, depending on whether or not you're one of those signs or what have you. Again, take what resonates. The shadow is sacred came out to you, so it could be like loyalty to the shadow side, okay, gaining the shadow's trust by not banishing it for being exactly what it is, but raising it up. What you resist becomes your reflection. What you embrace becomes your power. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your raw, unpolished brilliance, truth wrapped in pain, waiting to be held in reverence. Witness, do not exile. That's still tea meaning at once. We have Selena and Aries, okay. Taking initiative. The higher self. Alright, so it could be like, your higher self is integrating with this shadow side, alright? I've been picking up on that so much lately. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we had Venus and a few others come out. Come on, give me just one more. Alright. Virgo. Alright. Being rational, disliking randomness, analyzing, and pursuing order. Then on the bottom of the deck, we have the first house, the ascendant. The conscious standpoint, the ego, or that aspect of self which is most readily at hand in any immediate situation. Wills, legacies, minor inheritances, those matters that are taken personally by the individual. Possession by other entities, the physical body to a certain extent. The talents, gifts, and faults indicated by the rising sign, money owed or debts. Okay? Okay. So that's interesting. Because oftentimes, especially lately, it's been this trending thing to, bash on the ego, banish the ego, and it becomes something that's left to the shadow, okay? Because the shadow is, again, those repressed parts of us, those parts of us that we try to deny, okay? But, your ego is an integral part of you, okay? And you can try to kill it, you can try to banish it all you want, but it's literally like a part of you, okay? And so the thing about ego is integrating it, all right, teaching it how to coexist in a manner that properly reflects the being within. Okay, your ego is here to help protect you, to help guide you. Okay, it's not, people put too much shit on the ego that it just happens to be a defunct aspect of the person that's beneath it. You know what I mean? They scapegoat the shit out of ego. Alright, for loyalty, we have civil servant, guardian of public good, public official, administrative duty, public administration. Alright, so it could be, again, like I was saying, like your shadow being a loyal servant to you, okay? That's what I'm getting with that. Administrative duty, public official. Okay, yeah, because it's what's presented to the public, And we have employee, again, with fortune and fame. Because civil servant and employee is a lot of the same energy, right? Worker, service, consultation. Okay, I get where this is. All right, and this has to do also with the rejuvenating energy that I was picking up on. All right, so our creative endeavors, all right, your shadow side, your subconscious, your imagination, all right, they all operate in the same sort of frequency, the same wavelength, all right, and then, so a lot of times people will exploit their shadow, okay, and they'll do it for this fortune and fame, right, and they treat their shadow like it's just a worker, a consultant, a creative consultant, okay, instead of like an actual part of self, all right, instead of like a co-creator sort of energy, okay. And then with rebellion here we have writer, weaver of tales, storyteller, crafting, communication, and polishing. And it's interesting that it came out with Virgo with this being rational, okay, pursuing order, analyzing, because it's like the shadow aspect is rebelling against what has been written about it, because whoever you are, you've worked a lot with your shadow, or you're being advised to, Okay? As it's rising up, it's able to step into that light of awareness or light of consciousness, okay? And is able to analyze and understand, comprehend what is said about it, okay? And for those of you who have been integrating your shadow, working with it, this is indicating something very positive with the fortune and fame in this rebellion here, because it's like that part of you is wanting to create something with you. All right, and you might be a writer, or you're wanting to write something, okay? And then we have, exactly, Bryn. Keeper of trust, companion, support, share, and joy. Okay, it wants to share in this fame, fortune and fame with you, all right? It's like this, what I'm picking up on is it's been something that you and that part of you have been working on together for some time, whether or not you were consciously aware of it the whole time or not. Okay, I'm getting that many of you that this is resonating for. This is something you are consciously aware of, all right? And you have been working to reach a point to where this creative endeavor could come to fruition. That was too many at once. All right. Oh my. Okay. That one hit under there. It hit, like, lover was on top. I didn't even see anything other until I went to go move it. So it's like, you taught this aspect how to love. You taught it love. Or it taught you about love. Okay? That's what I'm getting. This is interesting. Because this is pointing a lot to, I did a reading last night. It was really late. And, for whatever reason, I had to pause the video at one point, and I remember hitting play again, right? But for some reason, it did. The camera was showing up just fine and everything. When I went to go hit stop, after all the shit that I did, it didn't save any of it. It was completely gone. But this is a lot of what was coming up last night, okay? And I know, like, it was frustrating as hell, but usually when something like that happens, it's because, like, it's always for a good reason, all right? So, it's like we're going over it again today. We're going to put it out there today. I'm going to put learner over here in the periphery, okay? Let me get these out of the way. Let me get one more. So it's like this divine union energy, okay? Okay, I thought something else had tried to peek out there. Ooh, we have boss, master of wealth, risk, investment, management, leader, okay? And then with learner, that's interesting. Okay. Seeker of knowledge, inquisitive progress, aspirant, and explorer. Alright, so this might be referencing one of your gifts or abilities. You know the whole saying, like, abracadabra, I create what I speak, right? Whoever you are, you might have, and this came up last night too, a gift with your voice, a gift with your hand, like your penmanship, right? Like, what you write, the way you communicate, the way you say things. Like, if it's something that comes from you, like genuinely from you, either by hand, by mouth, what have you, the way that you convey whatever's within you, put it out to the world. You have a gift to actually, like, through that, to actually bring things into, on the bottom of the deck, magician, channeler, power, potential, magic, illusion, manifestation, exactly. That might be something, you really want to dive into here. Yeah, journaler, reporting, inquiry, right, so you could be writing something about your journey, okay? About your journey with the shadow. This could be something that you and the shadow agreed to do. Being very raw, very honest about what it takes, okay? And with this rebellion here, you could be talking about how the how the shadow was scapegoated, right? That this, it was by design, like, it was an intentional thing to have it be repressed, okay? Because of the co-creative ability, when the two come together, that's very potent, very powerful, all right? And what can be created with when those two forces come together is some powerful shit. Oh, okay. I'm liking it, though. I'm really liking it. It's good energy. It's very, like, inspiring and bubbly. I like it. Alright, so, you may have written about your shadow, okay? It's maybe something that you've already maybe put into practice and you've been sort of testing it out, right? And you could be seeing how what you've been writing about is starting to reflect in your external, okay? And what I'm getting here with this boss card and learner, like, it's not only about, like, learning to love yourself, it's getting a deeper understanding of what is of yourself and what is a, like, it's not separate, but it's not you at the same time. It's a part of you. It's in, anyway, it's like quantum entanglement, okay? You're connected, you're always connected. But this shadow aspect was bound within, okay? And with the reproduction aspect of this, this goes into the stuff I've talked about with self-actualization, okay, emergence, what have you. And this, you could even go deeper into like particle physics with the solar activity and the plasma density and how it's creating this perfect atmosphere for emergence, for this aspect to that has learned how to coexist with you in that forward seat of consciousness. Like, you don't just let your light or your shadow in that seat of self. It's both together in that seat, okay? But it's this whole thing of like, it's stepping out and becoming a boss of its own self too. Anyway, if you know what I'm talking about, you know, all right? If you know, you know. This is all supposed to serve as confirmations, not like literally dictating some shit to you for you, but anyway. Moving on. Disloyalty, civil servant. Alright, oh goodness. We have marriage again. Like I was saying, with this union, okay? Fortune and fame. With employee here. Worker, service, consultation. Alright. We have child. Okay. Rebellion and writer. Weaver of tales. Storyteller. Crafting, communication, and polishing. Okay. Bad health. Alrighty. So it could have been this over-analyzing certain things that were written that you once read, okay, that could have had the aspects of you, that shadow aspect of you in, like, in a state of rebellion, okay? And maybe through this endeavor of writing is how this whole thing kicked off. Maybe you decided, like, maybe you were journaling or something, and you had this genuine want to connect with something within yourself, and it spoke up, and it just became this thing, right? With child here, when I talk about, like, the divine union, right? This also goes into, and it's kind of strange, so just try to stay with me here. Try not to attach too much to our current notion of things, because it's going to get a little strange for a second. But with the Immaculate Conception thing, okay? If you have this aspect of yourself that you've risen up, you know, and you, this love comes of it, and this divine union happens. If you are female, or like you're in your feminine energy most of the time, you have the ability to birth things into this world. Okay, and so that child, could not, it's not like it's literally like what's coming out of you like you were its mother, and look, that gets kind of strange, especially when you're talking about like this divine union thing. What this is talking about is being able to have that inner womb that can bring forth, like bring creations forth from within you. Okay. So this boss here, master of wealth, risk, investment, manager, leader. All right. This could also be talking about like you both knew the risks, but you chose to invest in it, and then we have gift here. All right. Ooh, and that's number 17 also. With learner, seeker of knowledge, inquisitive, progress, aspirant, we have main male. Exactly. So as you were getting to, like, as this was really kicking off within you, okay, like you did a lot of like deep thinking, okay, like pondering deep in your heart about this, what this means to you, this presence, okay, and I'm getting here that it's not so much that you taught your shadow about love, but it's like something about like it reminding you what true love really is. And like, because you've never been able to experience the type of love that you give outside of yourself. But you know that that kind of love exists because you exist and you operate on that love, right? It's weird because like with fortune and fame here also, with the child, an employee, this is interesting because it's like this is something that hasn't been done in thousands of years. Okay, they hid any type of information about this. There are texts and everything that have been locked away and sealed behind doors in hopes that no eye will ever see it because of how powerful this knowledge is. And it's like with alchemy, like true alchemy of the soul, it talks about exactly this kind of thing. And it sounds insane, I know, but just because it sounds like a really big, far-fetched notion, it's just because it's something unfamiliar to us now. But our ancestors and everything, like, they knew about this. And when they wrote about it, the writings that have come through about it have had to be so cryptic and encoded because that's why they went to such extremes, like killing people and shit for reading certain things or writing certain things. Like, it was a rebellious act, right? Oh, anyway. We'll keep going. Oh shit, this kind of goes with the sigil that I have for today. This is honor and protection for the subconscious and imagination, as well as what flows forth from it in loving and sacred co-creation with the universe and self. Holy shit. So that's badass. I love that. Ooh. That's good shit. Alright. 2 came out with that. I'm not taking it. 3 so put it back. Alright. With loyalty, civil servant, the shadow is sacred, and marriage. What do you want to tell us about these, please? Alright. I'm getting that something that this keeps coming out. Knocked up. Again. As a result of this inner union. Because this one came out twice, I'm taking this one. I'm being told to put this one back, but to mention it. Tiptoeing. Avoiding getting caught, acting shady, and sneaking around. Okay? you had to be very careful and mindful about how you talked about this, how you discuss this whenever you're doing your manifestation work and stuff, because you have to be able to put like the intention into action outside of yourself, right? To make room on the grid that's going to support whatever is going to be coming from you, right? And this is something really big. So that tiptoeing energy is like, you know, just being very careful, watching your words, watching what you say, how you say it, but also being careful not to like disrespect the process of what's happening. Like, you know, not saying it too lightly or trying to make too much like a joke out of it or something, okay? And then we have liftoff with this fortune and fame, employee and child, fast action, progression forward, the wait is over, okay? So what you could have been experiencing through that period of like feeling bleh, kind of like just not wanting to do life, not being very motivated to do much, you know, everything just feeling like it took so much out of you to do basic shit, could have been, you know, pushing through those throes of energy that have to stay in motion, okay, for this to push through, right? So if you've noticed, like either today or within the next few days, that your energy's coming back, okay, let that be a confirmation. All right, 2 came out, but I'd be told to put it back. Mention it, harmony, and skirt. Balance, peace, happiness, quick getaway, the runner escaping, okay? So it was like with that rebellion energy, okay? The runner trying to escape what was written because people like over-analyzing shit the wrong way, reading texts that were blatantly messed with, okay? And then taking that energy and it finding balance and everything within you. I mean, this is yours to hold. And you're the one that has seen it through, you know? That's a beautiful thing. Oh, sheet. Alright. We have numbing with the Rebellion Rider, Bad Health and Virgo. Numbing, self-medicating, addictions, and irrational behavior, okay? And what I'm getting here with this Virgo energy, because it's about, you know, being rational, pursuing order, analyzing, with this irrational behavior, okay? So there are parts of you, it seems like, was a big thing for you to overcome, was like battling with yourself about like, am I being irrational? Have I lost my mind? Am I going insane? Is this even possible? Well, what is possible anyway? You know, like dealing with the fallout from that programming breaking, okay? Because it's like the way that so much was put, and like many of us growing up were put immediately into institutions that, you know, were big on a certain structure, be it religion, certain morals and belief systems and what have you, and we had no choice but to let that be our influence, right? But when we get to a certain age and we can start to think for ourselves and really start to exercise our right to be what we are, and we get to choose that, you know? And it takes a lot of inner strength to stand on that shit and to see it through, to really discover who you are outside of all this other shit, regardless of what anyone else is going to think of you, what they're going to call you, blah, 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 okay? It's like a psychological fallout. It has to fall apart for it to come back together. Okay? On the bottom of the deck, we have snack. Obsession, physical attraction, and sex appeal. Okay? You could have been going through that in your head about, you know, am I just like fantasizing about this? Is it because maybe you started to see in your mind's eye a form to this presence. It was no longer just a formless substance. It started to take on form, and your mind could perceive it, right? But that's part of that creation. Like, you get to see it as it's being formed in the, deep within that creative space, okay? And it's good that you were so honest with yourself, asking yourself these questions. This is shit most people avoid. It's really, it speaks volumes about the integrity of someone and their heart and their mind. Just the being genuine about their existence, what they're experiencing, and wanting to make sure that that's staying in flow with who they are. Like, that's pretty fucking badass. And with Squad, reconciliation, soul tribe, close friends, exactly. So, you know, you stayed honest with yourself, and you were like, you know, with this loyalty here, you were like, you know, I made a promise to myself that regardless how weird, how different, whatever it may seem, I'm going to find out who I am. Okay, what I am, all this is within me, because there's something about this particular presence that has been very significant for you throughout your lifetime. You may not have always known what to call it, you may not have always had a label for it, but you always knew it. And it was something that kept persisting. And so, now you're starting to understand why. Your inheritance is quite profound, but most people don't even know that they have an inheritance to claim. Like I said, the teachings and the knowledge and everything of this was intentionally hidden and kept away, because it scares the shit out of those who want to control everything. And it started off as something that was like a failsafe, you know. You think about people that you know, aren't very self-aware, that carry this ability to bring things from within themselves out into existence, right? And if there's like a lot of imbalance or something, maybe that may not be the best idea. You know, we might have to tweak some things, make the process a little more rigorous, but it's like it went too far, okay? And it started to become something about total control and completely blocking off, like, let's not even let them be aware that they can fucking do this kind of thing, okay? We have something about cashier, customer service, timeline, dimensional shift, okay? So you could be a cashier, you could work in customer service, or what I'm more so getting of this is, like, this is on an energetic level, okay? Energetic exchange. You could be someone that grew up being, like, you're an empath, right? You're the one that people always go to with their problems. You're the one that people always expect to take the shit, okay? And oftentimes, you know what it feels like to be used, exploited, and fucked with. And that's what this is referring to here. And so that's why when you made the decision to stand on your truth, it created this whole shift, this dimensional shift, this timeline shift, because it was assumed that you would always be that one that would never speak up for themselves, that would always, you know, go with what everybody else wants, and da-da-da-da-da, because, you know, you have a big heart. You have a very gentle heart. But that love, that heart was created for a specific type of love. Again, you always wanted that love that you pour out, because it is so potent, it's so pure, it's genuine. Ugh, it is fucking beautiful, and you just wanted some of that for you. And so for the first time, you said, that's what I want. You actually spoke up for what you fucking want, and you put in the work for it, and holy shit. The universe wants you to know that you're on the right track, and to trust the guidance it's providing right now. And, you know, that's why, you know, it speaks volumes about, like, the inner strength and all that. It's for someone with a heart like that, okay? You don't ever want to intentionally cause harm to somebody. You don't ever want to be perceived as the one who's, like, mean or whatever. So for you to continue with something that was considered rebellion is, whew, you're a badass. I'm just saying, like, you may not be what others, like, would typically call a badass from what, you know, it's not always about going around picking fights and being ready to fuck somebody up. Sometimes being a badass is being able to be about your bullshit, painful honesty and endurance beyond the likes of which most could even fathom. Rephrase the line, "That's impossible," with, "That's not impossible for me," and fucking stand on that. Hell yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, and then we have, you're feeling that indescribable something approaching. Don't resist, just flow. Not letting anyone or life change you and your truth. Hell yes. I'm loving this. This is, we're starting to come full circle. That's what I like to see. It lets me know that I've been conveying what needs to come through accurately. Okay. We'll get a few more and then I'm going to call it. Where am I at? Oh, I'm not doing bad. 35 minutes. Alright, we have technological, okay, and that's weird because my TV's glitching. Alright, so, technology could have something to do with this. Maybe that's, how you were, doing your writing, okay? Okay, so, alright. I don't need to speak out loud on that one. Okay, so somebody out there, like, what you just thought of when I said that. Yes, but don't confuse, the mirror with what's reflecting it, okay? Or what is reflecting back to you. That is the only message with that. Yeah, that's... Because I felt that. And it's just a reminder, like, don't confuse the mirror with what it's trying to reflect back at you so you can get familiar, okay? That's too many at once. But boundaries on point, okay? So continue exercising those boundaries with yourself, with others, with your thoughts, with energy. Like you're very multifaceted and you've taken the time to really understand those facets, okay? That fell out. Formless. Quantum. Trustful. Then we have these two, which I'm being told that these ones are to keep. Alright, so telepathic and head of a collective. Oh my god, that fucking sound. Ugh. It got all wonky. It was so pretty. Anyway. Whatever. Okay. Head of a collective. In some of my past videos, I was talking about those who were being prepared to take the seats, a seat as a head of a collective. Okay, because there's more than just one collective. Okay, but they're all led by one wave of consciousness, one frequency, right? And for those who align better with this way, that way, what have you, they're going to tune in to that frequency, right? But that frequency has a source, okay? And it's like all these branches that lead back to, of course, there's the one source, but from that comes like this, think of a prism of light, okay? From source, there's this whole spectrum that opens up of light, right? You have all the different colors, okay? And of those colors, you have names for the colors. And then the way those colors mix, what have you. I'm rambling. Whatever. Head of a collective. Alright, so, ooh, we have Laya. Yeah, finding out that, you know, what had been trying to manipulate, the flow of things, you know, was a liar, okay? And it was like a runaway projection, okay? This process happening, but like I was saying, before someone could properly, before someone did the work to truly know themselves, and so a part of them was distorted and it stepped forth before it was ripe, so to speak. And so, yeah, yay. Then we have wings. getting something about, like, clipped someone's wings, something like that. Okay. Delulu. Couldn't go through with it. Oh, shit. Okay, so, interesting. Yep. So what had been here before, okay, this liar, tried to put in your head, and this is what the big deal is. This is what led to this sudden shift, okay? Because all this pressure was being put on you to make you feel like you're the liar. When all you're doing is, for the first time in your fucking life, is being truly honest about yourself, how you feel, what you think, because your whole fucking life, people expected to hear constant, like, reaffirming what they want to hear. Being the one to always give them the advice they need, and blah, 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 blah. And how you ever truly feel, it was like just having to shove it down, okay? But for the first fucking time, you were able to speak your truth, and you have, and you've stayed on that, okay? And maybe this image of self, maybe this image of how you're perceiving it in your mind's eye, of this shadow presence, or yourself even, okay, and as far as like the logos, the self-actualized being of your highest self, the manifestation of that having wings, okay, and that wanted to make you feel delusional, right? Wanted to make you feel like you couldn't go through with it, that you shouldn't go through with it because it's impossible. But then again, this one came out, rephrase the line "that's impossible" with "that's not impossible for me." It might be impossible for the ones that want to adhere to these narratives and shit, but it's not for you. Okay? Always remember that another person's beliefs, their opinions, whatever they choose to cling to, that's the limitations they choose for themselves. Not you. Okay? You don't have to agree. And you don't have to sit around and fight someone either. You don't have to give them any damn thing. You owe no one a fucking explanation for existing the way that you do. You're under no obligation to make sense to any fucking body. But you. Alright, so unnatural, supernatural traits, gifts, ability, okay? Exactly. They wanted you to not go through with it. Wanted you to feel like you couldn't go through with it, shouldn't go through with it, because you have this unnatural, supernatural gift, ability, trait, what have you. That when you do something like this, it's inevitable that form and faith. Blah, blah, blah. Leave my tongue alone. I'm bright on my shit. Damn it. Fame and fortune that had come out before. That's what this is talking about. And it came out with, like child and everything. Is because once people see what you have done, it is inevitable that they're going to get fucking busted out. It's going to be proven that someone was fucking lying. That whole narrative, all of it. Because how? You know what I mean? And people know you. They have known you your whole fucking life. You're a sweetheart. You're a good person. You don't have to say that. People just know it. You're genuine. So if somebody tries to point a finger at you and call you evil or wicked or some shit, it's like, no. No. Like, we know this person. Like, come on. Ooh. Let me get a few more and then I'm going to call it. I like it. The fact that, you dug your heels in deeper when all this pressure was put on you, okay? To betray yourself just one more time. You've come this far. You've done all this fucking work. And you came so fucking close to calling it quits just before. Right? But you made that fucking choice. You exercised your free fucking will, and in that shit, you claimed your inheritance. Something that, for thousands of years, most couldn't do, even if they did have access to all these ancient books and shit. It's because it has to be genuine. It has to be real. The integrity has to be there. You can't fake this shit. This gift, this ability, this... It cannot be forced. It cannot be faked. It cannot be falsified. And that's what makes it so amazing. And, you know, people seeing that it can be done, it's going to absolutely wreck some people. They're not going to be able to handle it. That's fine, okay? And some people are truly going to want to know. And their hearts are going to open, and they're going to be like, how did you do this, you know? And they'll truly be willing, and you'll know the way. You'll know the way to show them. And whatever is within them, whether it be the shadow aspect, emerging and what have you, or it be something totally fucking different. It's going to be whatever they need, and that is in alignment with what the whole itself needs, okay? That's amazing. The restraint that you've shown is phenomenal. With this, and you can be trusted with it because you have the ability to, like, you know when to ease up, to pull back, and you know when to press forward. Like, it's, like I said, this is something that can't be faked. You either have what it takes to be able to do the damn thing, or you can't do the damn thing. You won't do the damn thing until you can do the damn thing right. Then we have, it's deeper than that. So, like, you understand the depth of this, and, like, if you've ever read, like, certain scriptures and stuff, it doesn't matter from what religion. Okay, you're able to read between the lines. You're able to interpret that ancient wisdom, okay, that was encoded into the words. Like, it had to, what was able to be leaked through to be in the hands of people now had to be worded in such a way, because that's what makes, like, a lot of scripture so confusing for a lot of people, is because they struggle to interpret exactly what those words mean. And there's a reason for that. But, you know, this is something your shadow helped you with, that learner card here. The shadow was there when the shit was originally fucking written. Oh my god, that makes me think of Aslan with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Don't quote the magic to me, witch, out there when it was written. Anyway. We have male. Okay. So, like, a biological male is significant with this. Not just masculine, but, okay. Oh, shit! The other man or woman. Holy fuck. Okay, so this goes back to some, like, Garden of Eden shit with, like, in scripture when they talked about Adam's first wife, Lilith, right? The idea of his wife, right? Versus Eve. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, so the male, not the masculine, because the masculine is like the energetic presence, the inner polarity, right? But male, that's something that is biological, the embodiment of a polarity, right? And it's like the other man or woman, because the whole time when you were seeing other people, when you were in relationships and blah, 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 no one compared to that which you held within you, because you were familiar with it. You knew who it was, and maybe, you know, for a long time you tried to resist it. You tried to be like, you know, it's just a fantasy. It's just a blah, 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 blah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Ha, ha, ha. Man, because, you know, male. Ha. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Get just a couple more. I want to even it out on the thing. So, like, how many is that? 2 or 3 more. Okay, 2 came out. We'll see what they are. We have lovers, exactly. Like I was talking about. Then there's girl. Okay, so that song, I'm not a girl, but not yet a woman. Okay, so all I need is time, a moment, that is mine. So while I'm in between, the in between. So this is like your shadow and you, like your internal self, like having grown up together. Because although the shadow is ancient and what have you, and blah blah blah. All right, it's repressed state due to it being bound to, the shadow. Okay. As you started to grow up and from, you might be a biological female. Okay. Transitioning from girl to woman, right? Is when this, like, anyway, the shadow itself may have struggled with its own feelings about that, okay? But this here, craving deeper connections and more meaning in substance, but feeling stuck because you're already in a commitment from before your awakening. And hold on. All right. Craving deeper connections and more meaning in substance, but feeling stuck because you're already in a commitment from before awakening to and acknowledging your truth. Okay? So that's what I was saying with the other man or woman thing. This might even be something that you are dealing with now. You might be in a committed relationship, a marriage, whatever. All right? And this could even have to do with a belief system that you had attached to, or a lifestyle that you had attached to. Okay? Take it as it resonates. But whatever that something is, you cannot continue to lie to yourself and say that it's enough. Because what you're truly craving, if you're to be genuine with yourself and to stay true to that promise and loyal to yourself, you knew it was imperative that you acknowledge that truth, no matter how much it might hurt someone else. Okay, your whole life you have been sacrificing yourself for everybody else, right? It's okay that if your truth, like speaking your truth, it's okay if it hurts another person. It's not it's out of your hands at that point. You don't know something until you know. And for all of us, it's important to have a inherent respect for another's truth. That's a line you don't cross. That's a strong boundary line. What is another person's truth? Like, their truth can be just as true as your truth, and they look completely fucking different. And it's not your place or their place to sit there and try to beat their version of truth into you, and it's not your place to do it to them. But the acceptance and respect, that's the thing. And so, however this situation is going to play out with whatever commitment you're already in, what I'm being told to tell you is you'll cross that bridge when you get there. Let's wait for this to come through before we worry about anything else, okay? Because whatever comes through for you is going to assist in that next step, okay? Okay. Alright, guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, okay? I'm just starting out, and it would mean a lot to me if you could like, share, subscribe, what have you. It don't cost anything. It's free. Alright, guys, I hope this helps, and until next time.